From Washington, D.C., this is the Beyond the Dumbbells Show, your source of information and inspiration for living an audacious life. Hear interviews and social banter with special guests on Fitspiration and news from around the globe. Here are your hosts, fitness and lifestyle experts, Brian and Jenny Sweeney.
All right, party people. my love peeps.
Oh, yeah. You said party people, so I just got the tag team song in my head. Tag team back again. Oh, no, I sang.
That's good. That's all right. And it's on. Now it's permanent.
Oh, gosh.
All right,
sorry.
So we got deep into relationships last time. We can touch on that a lot. I don't know why I think that one's a little bit, it's too serious. Fitness to me, it shouldn't be serious. It sounds like I'm being serious, but this is me enjoying myself. And relationships, it just feels like I'm kind of talking to people what you need to do.
No, I don't. Well, of course, I'm going to have to say I disagree with it because I feel like we aren't preachy because we think we have all the answers about anything. I feel like it's like we've had some experiences and I'd rather not see people go through them again. So if we can help somebody in their fitness or relationships or whatever our topic is, just not make some of the mistakes that we have, I think it's beneficial.
There's always a concern that it's not going to come out as well as we hope.
Yep.
We got good feedback. I mean, we got some good feedback on it, but we're going to take a little shift off of the relationship stuff. We got more, but we'll let that one cool off since we just put it out like a day or two ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing that we see often and that you and I struggle with is just the start and stop cycles of fitness. Mm-hmm. And it's bedrocked principled into the idea of dieting. And,
yes.
And in our society, that the diet, the roller coaster way we do things, it leads everyone to start and stop things over and over because the preconceived notion or the idea is this is a short-term gig. I'm going to do it until I see some results, and then I'm going to stop because now I've earned the right not to do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Or they're bored.
I guess people, discipline. Discipline is boring.
It is boring.
And doing things at work are boring.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll go into just some observations. We'll go into some of our we'll talk a little bit about our backstory and just what led us to where we are because we talked originally when we first started the show. I wasn't fit. I wasn't a fit dude growing up.
Right.
And it's to be a chubby teenager is one thing, but then to be an adult and not know how to take care of yourself, it becomes a real challenge and it's confusing. And who do you trust and where do you go for information? And from my story, you've already heard it, so you're gonna have to hear it again.
I'm gonna grin and bear it.
So I got out of the military the first time in mid '90s, and this is when I was going to school full time, and I put on weight so fast and had started just. I guess it's normal. You come down on yourself. You don't have any confidence. I kind of left that brotherhood of the military. I didn't know what I was doing with my life, and I was kind of just wandering around. School was a place to go just because it was what you're supposed to do. But then when my fitness and health started kind of going sideways, I got big back in the day. I was 230, 235, and for me, that's a lot. There was no one to turn to. There was no one to ask for help like there is today. The internet was just brand new. There were no resources for stuff like this available. Right. So it was books and it was gym bros. And every time we went into I would stage when I went to the gym to bounce into guys that I saw in there that were kind of doing their thing and they had a plan. And I would time it so that I would be there when they would. And I would just try to get the courage to ask those dudes for questions and for help.
Which is super intimidating.
Yeah, because I'm a chubby 24-year-old, and I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing for fitness?
Oh, yeah. And you never know how they're going to take something like that.
No.
It could be like, why don't you go find something better to do? Or they could just be ugly. Or
my first guy put me on a weight gainer.
That's awesome.
He gave me a very specific brand name. Go buy this thing. And I was eating 2,000 extra calories a day. And I had no idea. I thought I was doing the right thing.
I have never heard this before. Yeah. I just learned something new about you.
Yeah, it was a I'm not going to say brand names. It was one of my favorite gyms down in, it's when I lived down south.
Okay.
But at the time I was like, well, you sure? And
yeah.
then I went and asked the dude at the counter who was twice as thick as the dude working out inside. And he's like, yeah, I need a lot of tuna fish too. A lot of tuna fish and pasta. I was like, all right, so get that shake and tuna fish and pasta. And no wonder I hit 230 pounds. But as I was struggling through finding my way because I loved the gym and I loved working out. And back then, my start and stop period was summer. I would work my butt off until Memorial Day weekend, and I didn't go back till Labor Day weekend. So I specifically took the summers off. And I was like, you work all off season, and then when it's time to play, you don't go to the gym during the summer. I don't know where that came from.
That's interesting. I just learned that about you too.
See, this is
I like it.
It's revealing the big secrets. So struggling with what to do, where to go. My plan at the time, because I didn't know anybody, I had to muddle through it myself. And when things didn't start going my way, things started getting worse. The weight started getting bigger, and I was just like, I am completely lost. And I had to start doing my own self-study, and I had to start doing, like I talked about, the books.
Yeah.
And finally, there was a contest that came out in 95, 96. It was the Body for Life Challenge. It was Bill Phillips had put this program together, and the first time I'd ever seen anything, he had put a book out. It was the EAS book of the supplement book, and it was a free book. It was like 150 pages. It was the greatest book I'd ever owned in my life, and I just consumed and absorbed the entire book. And everything from there was when I started seeing what was possible. There's no material that's so digestible and so easy for someone that was so hungry for it. I haven't read much since that's given me so much traction moving forward.
That's funny how much that set a path for you.
That did it.
That's crazy.
You want to know the worst part is, I'm going to talk some crap now. My freaking ex loaned that book out, and I never got it back.
Stop.
Yeah, and that person's still alive. So if you hear this, you've got my book.
Bring him his book.
It's like a collector's item, and I don't have it anymore. And
I could add to that, but I'm going to behave this time.
That's okay. But that's one of the bitter memories I'm still carrying, is that book is missing.
There's nothing worse than the ex who keeps stuff.
Dude, give me a break. It's an EAS book, all right? It's
Give me
mine.
it back.
It's mine. If it shows up in my mailbox, I'd be really happy.
Oh, yeah. I can't say I'm not going to be on eBay later looking for it.
I pray to God you got it. You find it. So I had a history of starting and stopping, and only after I started seeing results and associated the results with the commitment and the discipline did I recognize that it had to be a full-time thing.
Awesome. So no more summers off.
No more summers off. And I would show up in the winter, go figure, in worse shape than I was when I quit. I never put the two together. But the more I consumed, the more I recognized this is a full-time gig.
Yeah. I think that's a hard concept for people to grasp, because a lot of us do like a short-term goal kind of thing where you're getting ready for an event or, really a life event, so a vacation or whatever. And they don't realize that as soon as you kind of change what you're doing, you found something that works and then you go off of it, there's a good chance you're going to revert back to the old body or the old way of feeling.
Your body has a blueprint. If you grew up, I can't point to any science, but I picked this up in a Poliquin seminar, and it was prepubescent, so right before you hit puberty. The weight that you're carrying, the way that you're built at that time when you hit puberty is your blueprint for life. So if you are heavy set when you hit puberty, you will always be heavy set. You're always going to battle it.
That's rough, especially when you think of parents who just say, let kids be kids, without having any knowledge that they could be really setting them up for failure.
They can more slack off after puberty. There's still no excuse to go full bore Xbox and snack food, but the importance of being in a good body composition and being healthy and being active and eating the right foods. We're way off topic, by the way. But that blueprint is ingrained, and because people have to consistently diet, they don't associate their upbringing. Why do I keep gaining the weight? Why do people have to keep dieting?
Right.
Either you cannot control your choices, or your blueprint demands more. So
that's a neat way to look at it.
So your blueprint will not let you stop eating healthy, stop working out. You have to fight. My blueprint was heavy.
Right.
I was heavy when I hit puberty. If I stop working for a month, stop working out, and I just don't care about what I eat, I will absolutely pack it on. And that's even if I'm eating what people call healthy.
Right.
Let's say I stay away from all the bad, the obvious bad ones. I still cannot handle an excess of calories in an inactive lifestyle. My body won't let me do it. So with the starting and stopping mindset, people, if you've got something that works and you hit on that, you've got something that'll keep the weight off, you have to kind of look at this thing as this is my lifestyle now.
Right.
And every challenge that we run and everything we do, we're trying to blend the word lifestyle more and more into our conversations with our clients and our family and our friends. It's like, look, we'll get the weight off, but for you to maintain this, there is no end.
Right. I think it's hard because people look at it like, I don't want to diet forever. And it's like, no, don't look at it as a diet. Just look at it as a way of life that works for you and you're so happy. So just keep doing it.
Dieting sucks.
Yes.
Don't think diet.
Exactly. We talked about that in another one where it's like, think of a nutritional strategy, like think of a change, and don't think about everything that you can't have. Like think about how blessed we are with the things we can.
Diet starts with die.
Yeah.
That was what we said in the other show.
That's
now,
right.
You have a backstory. So you said offline that you say, hey, I'm the queen of starting and stopping.
I am
It's
the
not
queen.
true, but in your mind,
Yep.
you're harsher on yourself. We all are.
Oh, definitely.
Than external people.
Yeah. So I think our stories are so different because I grew up in an active house. We were not sporty in the sense of the traditional sports, volleyball and all that, but I was a huge gymnast for years and years. And then my sisters and I were dancers for years and years as well. So most of our upbringing, we were physically active, and dance and gymnastics are very demanding on the body. The problem with me with gymnastics, which was my favorite thing in the entire world, is I got really tall. And the issues that I started having, I am sure there are tall, amazing gymnasts out there, but my issues, they really started bugging me a lot. So it was like for, me to do a back bend, by the time I got to that floor, there was just too much impact on my back. Me to take a 5'8" body and land flips and stuff, it just got to be too much.
Oh man.
At the same time where I realized I kind of had to quit that part of my life and knew I was going to miss it, I went on meds that put on 25 pounds on me in about, I can't remember if it was a 5 or a 6 week period of time. That I still have stretch marks from, by the way, which
You said 25 pounds?
25 pounds. As a teenager,
That's bad.
ooh,
Yeah.
that was a rough one. Now, it was after puberty, so I'm lucky in that way. But my parents were not typical parents. So what they said to me was, you seem so unhappy with what you look like. They did research into a local gym and got me involved in a program.
Wow.
Which was sick. And just tiny backstory. I did not grow up in a wealthy household. I mean, my dad worked multiple jobs. My mom stayed at home with us and then eventually went to work. So for them to sacrifice their time and money to get me there and put me in a program that was not cheap back in the 90s, it was pretty awesome.
Now you took from that one, you changed your meds. So that helped.
I did.
And then you got active to knock the stuff off that you put on.
Exactly.
Did that create, because when we started dating, you were pretty lean. You were extremely lean, and you weren't an exerciser.
No.
Okay. I mean, the biggest mistake was you saying, hey, can you show me how to work out in a gym?
Oh my gosh. I still regret it. I'm totally kidding. That's
good.
a lie.
But,
I'm kidding.
But you never had to yo-yo.
No.
And it was only as you got older that, one, we packed it on when we got married.
We did. With Chunk and Munkus.
That's right. That's a sign of a happy relationship.
Exactly.
But at the time, because we had the conversation, we already did a show on how you actually tell someone that you love that they need to kind of get moving again.
Yes, that's when you cringed because I said, if you don't like to see yourself naked, how could you want your significant other to see you naked?
That's right. So, but at
And
the
you had a hot
time,
flash.
but neither of us said anything. I mean, it was just like, hey,
No.
this is the way it is,
Exactly.
And
We're newlyweds.
and this was 2004. Before we opened the gym, I knew how to work out. I was good
Yeah.
at the gym, but we didn't have a system in place. So we very much
Exactly.
did eat what you want, then clean it up for vacation. Eat what you want, train up for
Absolutely.
And that kind of cycle, I know that led to some of my biological issues before we got super fit.
Right.
Just started paying attention to what we do. But with clients, so we've got experience with what happens when you start and you stop. I don't even know if there's hard and fast science on what it does to your body to put on 20 pounds, take off 10 pounds, put on that same 10 pounds, take off 10 pounds, because the heart's got to pump blood through it.
Right.
The body's got to keep it warm, keep it cool. I mean, it's a burden to carry the weight around over and over and over again.
Yep.
Not to mention your thyroid goes out of whack just by increasing your metabolism, dropping your metabolism. So there's effects that happen. I don't know if there's any one, if you do this, then this will happen to you.
Right.
There's nothing that kind of specific. But when we see people that, especially clients that we know put in the work, when they put it in, they really put it in. And then when they fall off, they really fall off.
Right.
The mindset, how do you get people to, once they start seeing the results, to completely cling to a lifestyle that doesn't let them go back? Because the trainers can get you fit. They can sweat you fit.
Oh, yeah.
Then
I like that, sweat you fit.
Sweat you fit. And then your nutritional coaches can kind of guide you down the path that nutrition plus exercise gets you fit. Then when you get there, different clothes sizes, different suits, different belts, nothing looks the same, feels the same. Then they stop.
Right.
So the mindset, where's the mind that people are willing to take the foot off the gas?
So I think that if you've got, so we can use me as an example for this. So I think that number one, you can forget how terrible you felt before. So when you've, cleaned up everything in your life, you kind of forget. And I think I'm a great example with this, where I used to have pretty significant stomach issues and we couldn't figure out, I called it my first trimester baby stomach. And we couldn't figure out where it was, like what was causing it. And then you and I started a program, which we're going to roll out soon, hint, hint. And I was like, Brian, my stomach, I have not had the bloat in, I think at the time, maybe when we started realizing it was like 4 weeks. Oh my gosh, I don't have the bloat. It's been 8. It's been 12. Oh my gosh, should I try to incorporate this into the diet? And you would be like, hey, you haven't had that in a while. If that is the one thing that you add that's going to make you feel like garbage again, because you never care. If I walked around with a bloated stomach, you'd never be nasty about it or care. But you're like, think about how good you feel. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
And you know what? For me, to be honest, some of them are. Like some of them, it's like, you really going to have that bite of ice cream? I'm like, I am, even if it sets me off. But others, it's like, think about it. Think about how amazing you feel. There is stuff that I absolutely miss. I will never, ever put it in my mouth and chew it again because of how good I have felt.
I hate that idea. And I live that lifestyle.
I know.
And I don't wish anyone to live where you're struggling mentally all the time. If you have a passion for a food or a dessert or, a restaurant, I don't subscribe to cheat meals and I don't subscribe to cheat days.
I know you don't.
But I think there are moments where you should do what you enjoy. And they can be random. They can be every 45 days. They can be every 30 days. Between November and January 1st, it's damn near every 2 weeks.
Right.
You know that's the time frame to work a little harder and dial it in when you can. But with what you're saying...
Yep. I think, can I interrupt you for a minute?
Yeah.
I think people think that we walk this pretty straight line. And so I just went to a total interruption to say, I actually do believe in a cheat meals. Brian's going to kill me in a minute.
No, it's what you got to do what you got to do.
But I believe in them to a degree. So I don't think that if you have found a path and a plan and a nutritional strategy that works for you, and you go so far off that you're heading into a restaurant where you are going to probably leave throwing up or feeling sick to your stomach. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
A cheat meal to me is like, I am going to eat chips when they come out at the Mexican restaurant. You know what I mean?
That's a cheat?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but then, so like one of our... Like,
but your meal's on point.
Exactly. But like you and I, we love Mexican food.
It's my kryptonite.
Exactly. So we will go out, and this is a true story. We'll eat the chips, but then if we ordered fajitas, it's like, hey, if you don't mind, don't bring out the flour shells and don't bring out the sour cream, the cheese. And it's your call. That's the way that we are. So I think maybe I don't believe in a cheat meal, but maybe a cheat element once a week.
A piece. Something you can enjoy.
Exactly.
It's something that breaks the routine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, for some people, like if you love breakfast beyond all belief and it's like, I'm just tired of, I eat eggs every day and oatmeal and it's like, I want to go out and I want to have a waffle. Have a waffle. It's not going to, in my opinion, once you are strong enough to recognize and understand it's a cheat element of a meal or a cheat meal if you've got to go all out, and you can pull yourself right back in, my opinion is that it doesn't matter, but you have to be strong enough to realize it's that one thing a week.
You're better at that than I am.
Yes.
Because if I've got something around me that I really like, I'm only disciplined because I don't keep it anywhere near me.
Like pretzels.
I could destroy. If there was pretzels in front of me right now, I would eat them. I mean, so I know where my weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing I haven't been able to convey is when you set up your environment, it's called shaping your path. If you know you're going to a restaurant that will not have an option for you, I won't go to the restaurant.
I know you won't.
If I know that there's a dessert that someone's going to bring out, I will start talking about the dessert before we even get there and saying, I'm not cool with the dessert tonight.
Right.
I can't have that come out because I'm feeling weak and I know what I'm going to do. And not just me struggling with where I've come from. So since before we opened the gym, 2009, when this whole really bad cycle of mine ended, the 2009-10 thing, I so much will never go back to that it's like this, it's my skeleton in a closet. It's something I won't ever do. So when I make decisions, I don't look at them like, oh, I'm missing out on life. That doesn't work for me.
No, it definitely doesn't. And, we've talked about this in the past too, where it's also like, you also know you are not married to somebody that's going to ever set you up. I know what your kryptonite and stuff is, and I will never bring it home.
There's also times when you're like, you need to eat something. And so
my Lord.
It's either I've been doing too hard or I'm so far beyond hormonally because my food has been too restrictive that you'll be like, eat this, because you know that
now.
you know what I mean.
Exactly. And what? Don't anybody get excited. It's not a Snicker. Usually it's like a quarter cup of oatmeal with nothing in it.
It's a lot, man. It's 30 grams.
You're a mess.
I'm sideways. I love it. Not going back to where I was. That's where I hope most of the people that we try to influence and mentor and coach, I hope to say once we show you the path and you walk through the door, that you come to that moment where you're like, I did all this and I did it in a short time frame.
Right.
I'm never going back there.
Right.
And somehow the circles of friends that you hang out with, your family, your partner, or you're just traveling on the road and you don't have that discipline, because discipline's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Yep.
But if you've got weak discipline and if you're a crackhead and you walk into a crack house, you're going to probably do crack.
Of course.
So if you know dang well that you're not ready to be strong enough on your own, don't walk into Burger King. Don't go get French fries.
Yeah.
You know you're going to collapse.
Yes. My greatest weakness in the entire world is ice cream.
Yeah.
I won't even walk on the same side of the street as something like a Baskin Robbins or something like that. I can't.
Can't smell it.
No, I can't, because as soon as I do, that switch is going to go on. And I promise you, I'm going in and getting like a triple scoop. Yummy. Don't eat ice cream. It's bad. I'm just kidding.
I'm definitely Chippies. Chips and pretzels, and you're more ice cream and dairy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll try to share some tips and some tactics. Your why has got to be huge.
Yes.
And I think we touched on this. We'll revisit your why multiple times. I mean, it's critical to any direction. Same with your relationships. If it's,
yes,
what's your why for staying in it? What's your why for making it work? Same goes for your physical self. What's your why? What's getting you up every day? Why would you want to be disciplined and live this lifestyle? The difference is, and what people don't realize, is that once you are doing this for a while, you're going to get resistance from your partner, which we've known some that have set their people up,
yep,
your family, and your friends. All these people like, you used to be fun. We used to go out and do happy hour Wednesday, Thursday nights, and
right,
we used to tear it up. They will tear you down first.
Yes.
And
oh yeah. And it's the same. I think no matter who you are, that is exactly what happens every single time, whether they mean to do it or not.
That probably happens to most of our people when they hit their goal, and then there are other people like, thank God, are you off that diet now? Can we go back to normal?
Exactly.
So the longer you are disciplined, so let's say you've finished a program, you've dropped the body fat, you feel good in a tank top, you look good in a pair of shorts, and everything's there. That's the moment where you walk the solo path.
Yes.
The longer you can stay there, because the longer you stay there, you're going to rub off on those around you. You did not follow my path for years.
Oh gosh, no.
I wouldn't even, but we didn't talk about it. I
No.
didn't bring it up. It's like when she's ready, she'll talk to me about
Exactly.
it. So I did this for a couple of years. And then you finally were like, look, I'm not sleeping awesome. I don't feel awesome.
Right.
You know, I want to be able to do those things.
Yep.
And everyone has to come to this, they have to come to this decision on their own. But the longer, if I wouldn't have stayed in the game, you would have never asked me.
No, I probably wouldn't have.
So
Isn't that funny?
If you're a man or a woman, you go home and the spouse and the kids, they're kicking up a fight and you just don't want to deal with it and you cave in, this is your path where you have to, unfortunately, it's you in the road, put in the miles,
Right.
build that muscle, that discipline muscle, and they will start coming to you.
Yes.
Is this what I'm supposed to eat? Is
Yep.
this how I'm supposed to do it? Let the doctor do the talking. Once you do your physicals and you figure out where things are going as far as your blood work and your the biomarkers that matter to people when they get older.
Yep.
That's when you become the light for that person. You're like, you've been doing this for years.
Right.
Okay, so that's the big piece.
Yes, I think it's just one of those, if you're going into the workplace and somebody's like, what are you doing? And, share it and definitely expect that you're probably going to get some pushback. And, for women, I hear tons of stuff like, I'm willing to do this, but I'm never going to give up, cupcakes. I'm just using it as an example. I really haven't had that conversation.
I
Or
do
you're
like cupcakes.
You do like cupcakes.
Shit.
Or like, well, you're stronger than me. Well, they come, just be prepared that you're going to probably get some pushback from people. But as you stay on your path and you don't stray at all and you skip the donuts in the break room and whatever else is in there, know that somebody in there is watching.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody's going to become part of your tribe that you don't even know is, till 3 or 4 weeks later, they come up and they start telling you the things that they've done.
That's right.
It is probably my favorite thing in life. Like, I heard you talking to somebody and, even my nieces, so why don't you eat dairy, Aunt Jen? Just these good, you don't know who's listening or watching. Don't stay on your path, because I'm telling you, like clockwork, there is somebody making the changes because you did.
It rubs off.
It's so cool.
Well, it's funny because when you and I, because we're both like, we're on the path, right? Yeah, we're on the path. And if I eat something, you'll eat something.
I always have to have a bite. It's so bad.
But if I'm on point, you're on point.
Yes.
Somebody in your house always has to be the leader.
Yep.
As far as the discipline part, the boring
And
guy.
every once in a while, I would say that I take on that leadership role. I mean, maybe like one day every 6 months.
It happens when you're like, hey, I'm going to be good. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm going to be good too.
Exactly.
Sometimes I need the help, and it's welcome.
The worst is, though, and this is truth, anytime you say anything like, man, I just could use some chips. I'm like, I need chips.
I have strong power of suggestion, especially with food.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're that person, you finish your program, you're looking great, and you're walking the path, and you're going to be that lighthouse in your community, your friends, your family, your job. You have to stick with it. And once you get a month or two under your belt,
Yeah.
you're still plugged into your gym, you're still following your meal plan, but when you're out there, that's when people really get that spark for paying it forward, because somebody's going to come up and go, I just have to tell you, just like you said,
Yep.
I've been watching you for months.
I know.
And you look fantastic.
Yes.
And I would like a piece of what you're doing.
Yes.
Most people now are overweight.
Yep.
They all feel like crap. Nobody sleeps right. Not everyone, most people look older than their age.
I know. It's sad.
That's the food.
Yeah.
The crap that we put in our bodies is destroying them. And people, once you get into the cycle, it's hard to get out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're stuck in the eye of a storm.
Yep. I think the other thing that's really cool that happens is when you start to kind of clean up your nutritional strategy is you and I have never been in a restaurant and worried about what anybody came up to see us eating.
Oh, no.
And funny enough, we have had people over the years come up and say to us, we saw you at, we'll use Tony's.
Yeah.
We saw you at Tony's. And while I was gorging on my pizza, their words, not ours, you guys were eating a grilled chicken salad. And we were like, right.
Somebody's always watching.
And then people will say, we expected like the cannoli to come out. We expected this, and nothing ever did. You guys didn't even eat the garlic bread that came with the salad. And it's like, that's really funny. We did not eat it because you were there. We had no idea you were there.
Yeah.
But it's cool. You inspire without even realizing it.
We've walked into people eating that pizza, and
Oh, yeah.
you catch them in mid-bite. It's one of my favorites.
And there's a chance that we're drooling while we catch them, but It's just one of those. But it's not a show for us. Like if you look through our house at any point, you just see that we eat healthy. And like I said, my whole path and this journey has been for me that I have eaten clean now for so long that I feel so incredible. I will not go back.
And how old are you?
41.
That's it. It's the best shape I've ever got in. I was turning 40.
Yeah.
And that final message here is that most people think I'm too old. I'm never going to feel that way again.
Yes.
When I started doing this thing at 39, 40, and I knocked off all that crap out of my life, I couldn't share it fast enough.
I know.
I took 10 years off me.
I know. It's the craziest thing to think that I ended my 40s and I started my 41th year, or I guess it's 42 year, whatever, feeling better than I ever have in my entire life.
It's never too late.
It's the craziest.
That's beautiful. That's the perfect story. I want that for all of our people.
I do too.
And for anyone listening, just anything that happened yesterday doesn't matter.
Yes.
Today's day one. Start building that discipline muscle and start making smarter decisions.
Exactly. And just remember where you came from. Always keep that in the back of your mind. And if you don't want to go back and lose the same pounds over and over again, and you don't want to have a situation like me where I kept having that really bizarre stomach that was painful, then just don't go back. It's like, honest to God, just don't.
It seems simple. And we don't have kids, and we have two people that do support each other completely. There hasn't been a time where it's like, I can't do your diet anymore. I'm bringing home Captain Crunch.
No.
You know, those don't happen.
No.
When we want to cheat, we go out and we cheat together.
Exactly.
So if you are an influencer in your family, you have a significant talk with your person and just say, this is important to me and it's important for us. Can you help me make changes at home that's going to improve our lives and our kids? What you put in your mouth is the easiest form of relationship help, because you're going to sleep better.
Yes.
You're going to feel better. You're going to look better, which means you're more attractive to each other.
Yeah.
It starts with the food.
And also, if you have children, they're going to sleep better. They're going to have better focus in school. I mean, they're going to have more energy. So it's the whole way down. And just like I said earlier, when your kids are bringing these healthy, amazing lunches to school, somebody's watching. Somebody's watching. They could start their influence as a teen.
Here's a fun.
It's so cool.
You want a fun little kid fact?
Yes.
So a lot of behavioral issues are due to liver detoxification problems. So there's two phases the way the liver dumps toxins. Phase 1 fills up, hands it off to phase 2. Phase 2 needs very specific nutrition to get rid of it. And when that builds up, it metaphorically recycles into the body, and the body's not working the way it's supposed to. One of the number one detoxifiers for the liver is broccoli, not goldfish. Okay.
You did not bring up goldfish
Not
again.
goldfish. Not the superfood goldfish, which is not on the USDA chart.
I wish it was.
But that's how simple it is to change someone's life.
It's
and
crazy.
If your kids are bad and they're rotten,
Yes.
look at their food. You
Yes,
can't
or
eat processed stuff.
They're feeling bad, or their teachers are saying they're not paying attention. I mean, just take a quick look at what they're eating.
Attention deficit is the biggest thing with that liver problem. When you look at liver detoxification, attention deficit, behavioral problems, and being able to do your homework can start with food. And so if you're that person, this was us just again trying to say, be the influence in your house.
Yeah.
Once you hit your goals, look at them 6 months out, 12 months out. You should be able to take after pictures every 6 months from when you hit it.
Yes, you better believe it.
Every once in a while, everyone jumps on the scale every day, most of the time. Start taking pictures of yourself.
Yeah.
Your before, after, and your rear poster, your rear picture. You can make it a poster. But you should have a visual of yourself. Don't hide from it. And that will keep you also on path. And start looking at your future.
Definitely.
Cool. Was there any value in this today?
I hope so.
I hope so. It comes off preachy. These are the things that we just are not able to sit down and talk to people face to face to say, we care so much. I don't know how to get you to take this next step.
Right.
We've taken you right to the doorstep of everything you've wanted. You just have to take a couple more steps on your own.
Oh, yeah.
The trainers cannot be your center of support. It
Right.
can't be your trainers.
Right.
We get you there.
Oh, yeah. You have to want it for yourself. If you have to want it for yourself, and you have to do everything for yourself. And if you have someone else in your life, get them on board as much as you can and help them realize they want it too without even realizing it.
So now we're getting, I think we talked about this too. You can't ask them to join the journey for you.
Right.
With you. You just ask them to help support you on it.
Exactly.
When they want to change, they will change.
I'm living proof of that.
But you cannot say, I think we should do this. That won't work.
No.
So you start with, can we not do these things? And can we clean this up? Because I want to be here for our kids, or I want to be here for you, or, X.
Yeah, let's not clean it up for the vacation this time. Let's both start feeling better, sleeping better, looking better, finding each other more attractive if you're in a relationship. And also that for you, like, get dressed in the morning and feel confident about that body in the mirror.
That's enough.
It's such a cool feeling.
That's good. Okay, money. All right, this is a streak for us. We're doing pretty good. Good content going out this week. We've got, again, thank you guys so much for the feedback. Thank you for the follows and the likes. I hope we're doing this right. I hope that this continues to provide value. If we can help get this word out, we need your help to do it. So please share, comment, like, push back, whatever. That way it doesn't feel like we're just talking to each other.
Definitely. And if, again, as always, if there's a topic or something you want to know more about,
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
If somebody has an idea, because we come up with these on our own. But
no, I'd love to hear about it.
I would love a topic. All right, cool. All right, so we'll catch y'all later.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, be true.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Beyond the Dumbbells Show. We know you have thousands of options for content and entertainment. We appreciate you spending time with us. If you enjoyed our show, please share our web address, www.beyondthedumbbells.com, and maybe drop us a review. Until next time, live beyond.